head looking over a rim of the cliff. You can see kind of a nostril and maybe a mouth and maybe a little bit of eye. And the one on the right reminds people of a pod. I think of seed pod because I'm a native plant person, but a lot of folks think it looks like the pod from Aliens. And then again, up on the ceiling, you're going to see that Ledbetter shale. And up down there, it looks like an upside down river channel through parts of it. Okay, go down a little further, watch the steps. Awesome.
It's hard to tell from an angle.
Yeah. Okay, when you come across this walkway, look over to your left, you're going to see a dry stream bed. That obviously had a lot of water or ice or debris or all of the above flowing through it at one time, a long time ago in its history. It, you can see down below, you can see some of the sediment flow where it came down also. We know this goes back about 50 feet, and the reason we know that is because one of our staff members actually crawled back in there. He wanted to see how far it went. So he got to the point where it kind of narrowed down, and he was on his belly, sliding through this area, and pack rats began running back and forth across his legs. So he exited really quickly and didn't go back, but thanks to his bravery, we know it goes back about 50 feet before it gets real narrow. A couple things you're going to see as you come past here. One is our thermometers. You're going to see them as we go down in places. Also, these are called cave pearls, these little white bumps that you see there. We also have cave popcorn. Here's a really good example of the cave popcorn up here. It's where the water will kind of ooze through the rock system and start to come out, and then it just stops. So our geologist says this is called botryoidal. So if you want to impress folks, if you want to remember only one word from today, botryoidal is it, and it's these little formations. Now we have obviously been traveling down slope when we've obviously been traveling down slope as we come down into the cave system. That big flowstone that's up the slope from me here, up there, you can see the slope coming down from it. These are called rimstone pools, the formations below us. They're formed by water coming down a slope. The water dissolves the limestone, leaves the calcite behind, and eventually they make these little wells, and the calcite continues to just sort of build up on the edges and makes these rims. Now there's water in a couple of them right now, just barely left in there. They're starting to drain out through the bottom, and again by August these will be completely dry. Now people ask because it's really pure looking. It is pure to some extent because it's come all the way down through this rock system being filtered. And they ask if people can drink it, and we say probably not. And the reason, there's two reasons. One, pack rats actually travel back and forth through here. They leave deposits behind. They don't drink the water, they don't need to. They have all the moisture they need from the plants up on top that they eat. But they do travel back and forth. And the other reason is this is hard water, so it would be, it's full of mineralization, so it probably wouldn't taste very good. Right here are a couple of stalagmites growing up from that shelf, going up from the dripping down on them. Up here, these are called cave straws. They are hollow at the moment, hence the name straw. They are the fastest growing formation in this cave system. These little guys, they grow at an astoundingly fast clip of 1 inch per 100 years. So some of these little guys that are 4 or 5 inches long are 400 or 500 years old. They will eventually get longer and they will eventually fill in, but right now they're hollow. The limestone gets dissolved out, the calcite's left behind. When a stalactite growing down from the ceiling like an icicle, it's holding on tight to that ceiling, when it grows down, it meets its companion stalagmite growing below, going up. They form a column when they meet in the middle. And this is the largest limestone column in the Pacific Northwest. So we're really, really proud of it, even though we had absolutely nothing to do with its formation, but we are protecting it now. So it's really beautiful. You will, when you come past it, just be careful that you don't bump it. The walkway is pretty close to it. When you come past, you can use your lights and see that there are little insects trapped in here. There's some gnats, maybe some mosquitoes, little cave spider over here. They landed on this sticky. They couldn't leave, so they stayed there, and the calcite just eventually flows over the top of them, and they'll be sealed in there for eternity. We also have some cave worms in here. They're little earthworms that are trying desperately to make their way out. There's one right here when you come around this side. Some of them make it, some of them do not. So it's just a matter of who we find the next day. Yep, there's lots of them in there. And then on this flap, when you go past, you will see 2 names here. It was written in pencil in the limestone or in the calcite. It actually is vandalism. It's called graffiti. There is quite a bit of it in here. Most of it's up near the top. But these were written here within the last 100 years. Now down below, there is another name going horizontally across and a date. And that person's name is Pearl. And she was a school teacher, a local school teacher here. And she was in this cave system in August of 1912. Wow. So she must have been